Everything that we want as men and women from each other literally go hand in hand. And I think that the disconnect that we're having in modern day dating is because we're missing the mark on what each other actually is looking for. And there's a cycle that goes on because men want these particular traits from women and women are looking for these particular traits from men. And because it's not happening either way, all we hear is the complaining, the podcasts, the angry people, the bitterness. Greetings, I am Oshacerese, your dream doula, supporting you with birthing the life, love, and business you desire. And let's get into this topic. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I am so grateful for you all to be here with me, to join in on this conversation with me. So I want to see your comments. I want to talk about it. Let me know if you agree or disagree. I was scrolling on Threads the other night and I ran across this post. It is by _Sterling Jr. And he says, women notice effort, men notice respect. May we all meet in the middle every time in love on this note. And it got me to thinking about a post that I made. It was a quick reel that I made several years ago. And I basically was saying that men want appreciation and women want effort. And I get what he's saying about men wanting respect or noticing respect. But another quality that I've noticed that men always say that they want from women is peace. And one of the things that I know about us women is that we need to feel safe. And I was thinking about this and I realized that these things actually go hand in hand. And when one is not there or one is missing, you're most likely not getting it from your partner. And if somebody doesn't take the initiative to bring it to the table or bring it to the relationship, then it's going to always be off balance and it's going to be a tit for tat, push and pull type of situation or type of feeling where someone is not getting what they actually need from their partner. Let's just get into it because it's deeper than what your partner can provide. Let's just start with safety. A friend of mine, one of my homeboys, asked me the other day, he talked about how one of his lady friends had mentioned wanting to be put in her soft girl era or wanting a man that's going to help her maintain being in her soft girl era. And he's like, when y'all say soft girl era, what does that actually mean? And I gave him my personal definition of it. I was saying a regulated nervous system, feeling safe, not having our peace disturbed, being able to have stability and just calmness. You know, what else goes along with that differs for each woman. But I believe that being in your soft girl era pretty much translates to having a regulated nervous system, some peace, some calm, and feeling safe. So, safety, I've come to realize from the fact that I am a woman. I have woman clients and, women family members, friends, loved ones. Feeling safe is something that will make or break a woman, period, but especially within a relationship. If a woman doesn't feel safe with her partner, there is no stable foundation. The safety is not just about being protected physically, because yes, we always say we want a man who protects and provides. So yes, the physical protection is necessary, needed, wanted, desired, all of that. But the safety aspect comes in at the emotional safety, the ability to come and communicate with your partner and know that they are going to receive what you're saying and actually sit there and have a present conversation with you and you work together, and it's not you against your person, it's you and them against the problem. Conflict resolution, healthy conflict resolution, I should say. Being able to be vulnerable, being able to be your full authentic self without judgment, without critique, without dismissal. Being able to share, being able to be heard, seen, felt, understood. Feeling safe in a relationship is going to make that relationship, I don't even want to say 10 times, an infinite amount of times better than what it could be if a woman does not feel safe in the relationship. Now, along with that emotional safety, women also need reassurance. We need consistency, leadership, all of these qualities that make us feel safe. And the other quality that goes along with feeling safe that a woman wants from a man is effort, but we're going to get into that in a second. I wanted to mention the fact that, yes, a woman wants her man to hold space for her to feel safe within the relationship. It is also our responsibility to make sure that we feel safe in our own bodies. And a lot of women who have experienced any type of trauma, childhood trauma, past relationship trauma, experience any type of PTSD or mental issues or anxiety, those type of things. We don't always feel safe in our bodies. And that's something that we have to address before we even get into a relationship. And that's something that you're going to constantly have to address. It's not something that you fix one time and it's always fixed, because you do get triggered, or you do have situations that arise that may knock you off your square and have you feeling like you're not safe in that moment. But we have to do what we need to do to feel safe in our bodies, to feel safe in our homes, to feel safe in this world. And also, the partner that we choose, we have to make sure we feel safe with them as well. But some of the things that I would recommend to do if you are not feeling safe within your own body, of course, therapy. Seeking therapy or some type of healing modality that is going to bring you back into feeling safe within your own mind, body, and spirit. Also, your root chakra. Chakra. I try to pronounce it correctly, but it don't come out right. Chakra, however you pronounce it. But your root chakra is at the base of your spine. It governs safety, stability, all of those things that we need to make sure is clear. Because if your root chakra is not clear, then any of your chakras above that, sacral, solar plexus chakra, heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra, all of it is going to be blocked if your root chakra is blocked. So making sure that your chakras are clear, starting with your root chakra. And that's a whole other video that I can create in regards to that, root chakra healing. But that's something to look into. And then also doing things like grounding, which is one of the ways to heal your root chakra as well. But grounding and doing some type of grounding activity that brings you back into the present moment and making you feel safe. Also, affirmations, mirror work, journaling, healing, whatever it is that makes you feel unsafe. So, those are a few of the things that you can do to start feeling safe within your own self. And of course, all of the things that I mentioned, from reassurance to clear communication to healthy conflict resolution to just being present from your partner, is some of the things, some of the ways in which you can create safety in the relationship. Now let's go over to what I feel goes hand in hand with what women want, and it's what men often say they want. Unless you're under a rock, you have heard a man say, "Be my peace." They want a woman to be their peace. What does that really mean? They want someone who, when they go out in the world and they're battling the job, the people, the society, the law, or whoever it is that they're battling externally, that when they come home, they don't have to battle their partner. The internal battles, the "I'm fighting demons" energy, they already have so much going on within themselves, the pressure that they put on themselves, the pressure from their family, the pressure from society, the pressure of having a family, of having a partner, of meeting someone else's needs. They're looking for a little bit of relief from all of the internal battles that they have. They're looking for some softness, some submissiveness, some kindness, some gentleness, some nurturing, the essence that a woman brings, just that piece of you being their safe space. That's what it feels like for them. And again, just like I got on the women, a woman is not supposed to be your only source of peace. We don't want to continue to hear, be my peace, if you the one up in here raising hell. If you want a woman to be your heaven, you cannot be raising hell. So, to be your own peace, fellas, you have to do the work in order to fight those demons that you're fighting internally by seeking therapy or some other healing modality. Also, having community outside of the homeboys that are really not even a great influence for you, or seeking everything from your partner, from your woman, needing her to be the source of your everything, for your nurturing, for your, the needs to be met in every aspect: mental, emotional, sexual, physical, healing some of these childhood wounds that you all sometimes repress. And finding something like meditation or some other type of healing modality that you can lean into to find your own peace. Because when you have peace that comes from within, your partner that you've chosen is just an addition to that. She's not the source of it. So, because women, we can be very peaceful, but we can also be on a different type of emotional clock, an emotional cycle. And so sometimes we might be a little up and down. Sometimes we might be a little moody. Sometimes we might have a little attitude. Sometimes we might have a big emotion that comes out that you can feel, and it doesn't feel so zen and peaceful. And you have to be able to lean into your own peace in those moments. Those are just a few things that you can do to be your own peace. And that way you can appreciate the peace that the woman brings even more, because it's not the only way that you feel it. And this is why I say these two qualities go hand in hand. When a man says, I need a woman to be my peace, but then they don't provide the safe space for a woman to feel like she's in her soft girl era, not necessarily, I'm not talking about just monetarily or providing, as I've said before, financially or protecting physically, but being an emotional safe space to land, being stable within themselves, and providing that reassurance and consistency and partnership to allow your woman to feel safe. That's the woman who's going to provide you with the peace. That woman that feels safe. She's doing the work to feel safe within her body, to feel safe in her home, and to feel safe in this world. And she has a partner who makes her feel safe to be herself, makes her feel seen, makes her feel reassured and understood. And she's going to nurture you. She's going to be soft. She's going to be present. She's going to meet the needs that you have as well in return. And the men who are receiving a woman that is doing the work to feel safe within herself, she's already going to exude a certain level of peace. She's already going to be his safe space to land, and she's going to be able to provide those energies that allow him to feel honored to be that safe space. So it really goes hand in hand. That man is doing the work. He brings peace. He's not just fighting demons and taking it out on her and making her the scapegoat to his issues, or making her the center of his world to the point where she has to be his everything. And so when they come together, they have the harmonious connection of peace and safety. Now, let's get into the other two that go hand in hand. We love effort. I don't care what no woman says, even if her love language is receiving gifts. If it is a gift that clearly lacks effort, that is not thoughtful, that is not intentional, that gift is not even going to mean much to her, because there was no effort put into it. When we say we want a man that's going to plan dates, yes, that's a lot of pressure to plan dates. And as I've grown and matured in my own dating experience, and I've coached other people when it comes to intentional dating, I've learned that it's okay to collaborate when it comes to planning dates once you've gotten to know someone. Now, it's up to you as a woman of when you feel like you want to co-create or collaborate in the process, because I believe that first date, after you've vetted each other and you've gotten to know each other's wants, wishes, desires, interests, hobbies, passions, it's nice to see if that man has been an active listener and they want to take the lead leadership. They want to take the lead into planning the date, maybe date one, two, three, however many dates. But when you start to really realize that you want to date each other, there's nothing wrong with a woman saying, you know what, let's go here, or this will be a great idea. However, you want to collaborate, if you're planning it or if you're just suggesting, that's up to you. But when it comes to the part of the relationship where you're wanting to see what that man can do, that leadership, you want to see how that leadership comes into play, the effort, even if it's not perfect, the fact that you put in effort is what really matters. Like, that matters so much to women, and I don't think y'all get it. Effort. Even if you in a men that don't have a whole lot of resources or money, effort will take you a long way. What is her love language? If she likes physical touch, get to massaging some feet. Or you might not be able to send her to the spa, but create a spa moment. If she likes extravagant meals, maybe you can't afford the 5-star Michelin star restaurant, but you can go look up a recipe and try to finagle some things in the kitchen yourself. Don't say you can't cook, because did you try? Recipes are there for a reason. They got the measurements, they got each step. So figure it out. And I told the story before, but I'm going to tell it again. This is the example. You might say I'm petty, but it's all about effort for me. So I'm going to make this long story short. But I will say I was dating this guy during the pandemic, and it was actually kind of during the height of the pandemic, maybe 2021. I'm not going to say I was dating him. We were talking, we were getting to know each other. We met on Bumble. And we went on our first date. It was my first time being in a restaurant since the pandemic had started. I took a year off of eating out and even longer from sitting in a restaurant. So I met him at this restaurant. It was nice. The date was cool. We had chemistry or whatever. Nice guy. I was interested in continuing to get to know him. I normally do not accept home visit invitations so soon. But because it was during the pandemic and it was like we not outside like that, he asked if he could cook for me. Now, he knew that I am a vegan woman. I said, "Are you sure? Because you know I'm vegan." He's like, "Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna find a nice recipe. I got you." Okay, cool. So I'm gonna speed this story up because there's so many different elements, and maybe I'll give you a full story time another time if you want to know the full details of why this was one of my like ugh dates that just go in the yuck category. But long story short, when I finally did get to the house, I was already irritated for other reasons, and you let me know if you want story time. But when I he said that the food that was for me to eat was in the sink, so I'm like, what could it be? I looked in the sink. It was filled with water, and in the sink was a frozen bag of bird's eye vegetables. If you ever had bird's eye vegetables or if you've ever seen it, it's more so of a side dish or something that you would add into like some fried rice or have something with it. So I'm like, what are you planning on making with this? He said everything's in the bag. I'm like, do you have some rice or something to go with it? Some sauce? He's like, yeah, it's all in the bag. I know that there's nothing in this bag but vegetables like carrot, corn, peas. As a vegan, let me just let y'all know this. We are not just salad eaters. We do not eat like rabbits. We like to eat. So if you're going to do a stir fry dinner, I'm going to need some fresh zucchini, bell peppers, onions, big pieces of broccoli or cauliflower, like seasoned up with some rice or some quinoa or some couscous. You can get a plant-based alternative meat if you want to, or you can like come hook it up. Okay. I looked in the sink, and not only was this basic bag of bird's eye, but it was open, and all the sink water was getting into it. And the only thing I could imagine was this man he probably thawed out some chicken in the same sink, and this sink water is getting in this bag. I told him I can't eat this. And I know what you're probably saying, that I was ungrateful or he was doing his best, but no, he wasn't. That wasn't his best. He probably didn't look up a recipe. He went to the grocery store at the last minute, grabbed a bag of frozen vegetables, and thought, I can make this. And there's so many other details that go along with the story that will let you know that it wasn't just him trying his best. Okay, some effort would have been really preparing, looking up a recipe, going on YouTube, typing in vegan romantic dinner or vegan ideas, or just ordering it in if it was too much of a task. That would have been effort for me. What goes hand in hand with the effort that women want to see men have is the appreciation that men want to feel from women. Out of all my years of being a life coach, having homeboys, like most of my close friends are men, talking to just the men in my family, in my circle, men want to feel appreciated. I know the man on thread said respect, and definitely that goes without saying. And I think both men and women need the respect. I'm gonna just be honest about that. And both men and women want all of these qualities that I'm mentioning, but I think there's a priority list. The way men have told me that they feel unappreciated by women, and not just about cooking a damn vegan dinner. I'm talking about paying bills, maintaining the household, being present in the relationship, doing romantic things, trying their best, truly trying their best, and just feeling unappreciated by their woman. It does something to them that a simple thank you, or I see you, or I'm so appreciative of you, or I'm so grateful for you, or a little bit of acknowledgement would take those feelings away from them instantly. So I think that goes hand in hand. Women want to feel the effort and men want to feel the appreciation, but a lot of times men are putting in the effort, women, and we're not making them feel appreciated. And men, a lot of times y'all are saying you don't feel appreciated, but you're not really putting in that effort. So we all need to do a little self check whenever we're feeling like our person is not being grateful. We really need to think, did I do my best? Did I show up in the way that they need? And again, that's why love languages are also important as well, because you could be putting in effort, like bringing your woman flowers every day, and she don't even like flowers. She like booty rubs. Or you could be writing her love letters every day, and all she want to do is sit on the damn couch and watch a movie with you and spend some quality time. So you have to know, how is your person receiving the love that you're giving, because your effort can come off as misaligned if it's not the way they receive love. Same with men. You might be pouring all these words of affirmation over them, telling them you're so fine and you are so strong and courageous and you do such a good job taking care of us. And all he wants is for you to make sure that all of his appointments are scheduled. That's what he needs to get something off of his plate. Because I've dated men who don't like words of affirmation. And because it's one of my top love languages, it's one of the love languages that I also give the most. And I've had men that say, I don't need words. I don't even like words of affirmation. I need physical touch, or I need quality time, and I'm good. So it all goes hand in hand, y'all. We have to do our parts to check in with ourselves to make sure that we're bringing what we're asking for or what we want to be reciprocated, and that we're doing the work to have the inner peace, the feeling of safety within ourselves before we bring in our inner demons or external problems from outside of the house into our home, into our relationship. We have to work together. We have to be able to sit down and communicate. And vetting is so important. I'm going to continue to say that so much. Of course, you can't always get it right. Of course, you can meet someone who's wearing a mask, who is hiding their true selves, who is coming to you with their representative. But just taking a little bit more time to get to know someone and who they are and how they show up and their attachment style and how they resolve conflict and what their needs are and what their love languages are and how they show up when you are not your best, and all of those expectations, standards, boundaries, everything that needs to be discussed before really committing into these deep relationships, only to find out that you're misaligned and you're just not for each other. You don't love the same. You don't receive love. You don't give love the way each other needs. You don't have the capacity to hold space for what it is that they need. Or if you're not doing the work as an individual, but you're expecting your partner to do it all, you really got to do some self-reflection before you get into these relationships, because you will find yourself deep in them, settling or rushing or not being fully present, and then you find yourself hurt. Then you got to book a call with me, because I support you with healing from your heartbreak. So if that sounds like something you need, please feel free to go in the description and book an appointment, because I got you. I get it. We've all been there. Okay. When women feel unsafe, whether it's because of lack of effort, lack of clarity, lack of clear communication, lack of support, lack of stability, we become reactive, we become anxious, we become irritable, we become snappy, and we might hop on over into our masculine energy a little bit more than you want us to be in it. And when men feel unappreciated, they emotionally withdraw, they retreat, they shut down, they disconnect. And then now we ain't got no damn peace in the house because the more they retreat or they go into their shells, the more anxious the woman gets. So it's a cycle we don't want to be on. So do the work, get your stuff together, get your mental health team together, whether that's your therapist, a pastor, an elder, a family member, a coach, your dream doula, whoever it is that you need to support you on your journey, because we are team healthy relationships with self and others. And in order for us to have that, we got to do the work on ourselves first. I love you. Thank you for tuning in. Again, make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'm going to talk to y'all later.